Today you examine the stability of thinking. Thinking is not merely movement of thoughts. Thinking is the activity that preserves order within the mind. This is the 7-minute daily focus, day 69 of 365. Today's focus, the law of the mind. You remain within one governing structure, the law of the mind. For 14 days, I do not change subject. You deepen focus, you deepen understanding. Effect stands in front, origin stands behind, the mind stands between. This is the order of the law of the mind. Today you examine the stability of thinking. Thinking is not merely movement of thoughts. Thinking is the activity that preserves order within the mind. Thought introduces the seed. Thinking receives that seed and begins to arrange it. But this arrangement can only occur when thinking becomes steady. When thinking moves rapidly from reaction to reaction, the seed cannot stabilize. Each reaction interrupts the pattern that was beginning to form. The mind then becomes a place of scattered seeds rather than ordered development. But when thinking slows and becomes attentive, the seed of thought is given time to stabilize. Thinking observes the seed. It examines its direction. It confirms whether the seed aligns with what has been recognized as real. Through this stability, thinking protects sequence. Thought appears as seed. Thinking sequences the seed. Metaphysical pattern begins to stabilize. Metaphysical structure begins to form. Physical structure eventually appears in front. Pause for a moment. Observe the pace of your thinking. Notice whether thinking is steady or reactive. Notice whether your attention remains with a seed long enough for it to stabilize. Stability of thinking therefore becomes essential. Without stability, the seed cannot mature. Without stability, the metaphysical pattern remains incomplete. When thinking remains aligned with what has been recognized through the first sense, the seed retains its order. Thinking then strengthens the metaphysical pattern until structure begins to appear. In this way, thinking fulfills its role within the mind. It guards the seed of thought. It protects sequence. It prepares metaphysical structure for eventual physical expression. Stability of thinking also determines whether the seed matures into coherent metaphysical structure or dissolves into confusion. A seed requires continuity. It must remain long enough within the mind for its internal pattern to organize. If attention constantly abandons the seed, the process of organization cannot complete itself. Consider how stability operates in ordinary experience. When a gardener plants a seed in soil, the seed is not dug up every moment to check its progress. The seed is allowed to remain within the ground. The environment remains steadfast. Gradually, the internal pattern of the seed begins to unfold. In the same way, the mind must provide a stable ground in which the seed of thought can develop. Thinking provides this stability. Thinking returns to the seed again and again, examining it from different angles, clarifying its direction, and strengthening its internal order. Each return of attention reinforces the pattern that is forming. Over time, the seed becomes increasingly defined. Its direction becomes unmistakable. Without this stability, the mind becomes a field of interruption. One seed appears, then disappears. Another seed emerges, then is abandoned. The mind becomes filled with beginnings that never mature into structure. Thinking must therefore learn to remain with a seed long enough for its pattern to become established. This does not mean forcing thoughts or struggling with them. Stability of thinking is not pressure, it is steadfastness. It is the calm ability to hold attention upon what has been recognized as meaningful and aligned with reality. From this calm steadfastness, the seed begins to organize itself. When stability is present, thinking performs several subtle functions at once. It clarifies the meaning of the seed. It removes unnecessary confusion surrounding it. It arranges the elements of the seed into proper order. Gradually, the seed becomes more than a passing idea. It becomes a structured direction within the mind. This structured direction is what forms metaphysical pattern. A pattern is simply order that has begun to stabilize. When thinking repeatedly returns to a seed and arranges its meaning, the mind begins to hold a consistent pattern of recognition. That pattern is the early stage of metaphysical structure. Metaphysical structure does not appear suddenly. It forms gradually as thinking maintains stability. Each moment of ordered attention strengthens the pattern. Each return to the seed reinforces its direction. Over time, the pattern becomes stable enough to support physical expression. This is why stability of thinking protects the entire sequence of reality. Without stability, the seed cannot become pattern. Without pattern, structure cannot emerge. Without structure, physical expression has no orderly foundation. In this way, the stability of thinking quietly governs the development of what will later appear in the physical world. The visible structure that eventually stands in front is simply the final stage of a sequence that has already been stabilizing within the mind. Understanding this restores responsibility to thinking. Thinking is not a casual activity, it is the guardian of the seed. It ensures that what has been recognized through the first sense is given the time and order required to mature into structure. When thinking remains stable, the mind becomes a place of orderly development rather than scattered reaction. Seeds are not lost, patterns are not interrupted, structure forms with clarity, and what appears physically later reflects the stability that was first established within the unseen activity of the mind. Remember the order. Effect stands in front, origin stands behind. The mind stands between. Thinking preserves stability within the mind so that what is recognized behind can eventually appear in front. Affirmation for day 69. My thinking is steady and ordered. The seed within my mind stabilizes into metaphysical pattern. Metaphysical structure prepares the way for physical expression by order, by the law of the mind.